Looks like
What
fucking strongman Brian Shaw.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Banner Report podcast, starring your hosts Cody Adams and Steve Crowley. Jacob is gallivanting all across Florida. He is on vacation, well deserved, so he may or may not be able to post his video thoughts on the news and ongoing since we last spoke to you 2 days ago. um, wow, lots to discuss. We got NBA Finals, we got Jrue Holiday trade, and we got another trade that shakes up the West. Well, in the East, I guess we got a trade for the Pelicans and the Wizards, two shitters. So, Steve, let's jump in first with the NBA Finals. The
Uh,
Oklahoma City Thunder, your champions.
Off the rip, I gotta tell you that there's not a trade that can be made between the New Orleans Pelicans and the Washington Wizards that would shake up anything in the league. Like they could trade any number of things and it would not change anything. They're both gonna be bottom feeders next year.
Mm,
Um,
that's true.
Back to the NBA Finals, just a fog of a game seven, really. I mean, Tyrese tearing his Achilles 7 minutes into the game.
I mean, that game started out so electric hot. He was on fire. What was he, 3 or 4 from three already in 7 minutes?
9 points already, dude. He was hitting from like 4 feet behind the line. Like
He
he
was
was being
motherfucking the
aggressive.
crowd.
Yeah, he's being aggressive. Like you were thinking, all right, this is like a great sign for Indiana when he's aggressive. That they play on so much better. And after the tear, the rest of the half at least, even part of the third, it was kind of a fog. Like it was that was kind of just looming over, and you were kind of like, oh, what's really going on in this game? It's kind of hard to judge what was going on. That was always in the back of your mind the whole time. So that was tough to see. I mean, the Pacers really put up a hell of a fight to lose your best player 7 minutes into the game and be winning at
They
halftime.
were up at half, yeah. I mean, they did a good job of not getting like shaken to the core right away.
Yeah,
Um, After a catastrophic event like that. Um, but it was just a matter of time. Haliburton is really he's a special type of player. He's the offensive engine for that Pacers team, and uh, just a key part to everything they do. So I think if you watched it or if you saw it, you obviously felt number one just awful for Halliburton. He there was discussions pregame about I think Perkins, our favorite, was saying like tell the franchise like you're not playing. It's not about this. Like don't sit out for the game. And he answered, he's like, no, I'm spent my whole career to be at this exact moment. I'm not gonna not play. And he goes out there and the worst thing imaginable happens and he's just emotional. And I'm emotional and the rest of the NBA Twitter was all like you could just see the uproar at how tragic that was. You just feel really bad for that kid. And hope he gets a speedy recovery. He was there after the game to shake all his teammates' hands and out in the locker room. He's a team focused guy, and I think that stuff goes a long way in the long scheme of things. And then as an NBA fan, you just feel robbed of like potentially seeing a historic all time moment. And a good, at least at the very least, a competitive and good game, which it ended up not being in the second half. Um, so yeah, it's just it was like was it started off with such a bang, and then it was just such a crash.
I hate that had to happen to Halliburton too. I mean, just such a good guy. Just you know, rising to the occasion. I mean, look, if they capped off that run with a championship, I think that would have been an all-time uh, finals run for one player. Maybe like game winner in every series. I think
I mean, yeah,
he was just that special. He was that special this year. Like, and for him to get robbed 7 minutes into that game, and like, yeah, you got the calf strain, so we all know. Like, they say that there's not a correlation between it and tearing Achilles, but we've seen enough players happen. It happened to him, so for him to decide to play on that because it was Game 7 was he was gonna play. Like you just knew it. That's just who he is. He's a competitor. But I mean, you would just have loved to have seen what would have happened in that series if he stayed, because I really think they could have pulled that off.
yeah, and now we'll never know. Um, and that's the worst part about it. Um, I mean, the Thunder stepped on their throats. They didn't have an answer for him. They were probably they may have won the whole game even with the healthy Halliburton. You don't want to take away from their championship run, certainly a historical championship run. Um, but it just feels like asterisky, you know. And you never
It's
want
gonna
to
be one
say
of those
that
kind of
because
things.
yeah,
You're gonna look back, and one of the first things you're gonna remember about this game is that Halliburton got hurt.
yeah, that's
That's
the
gonna
whole
be.
series.
It's not gonna be the Thunder won Game 7. You're gonna think that Halliburton got hurt.
Yeah.
And like, shout out to the Thunder. I mean, look, you were the best team all season long. Like, start to finish, you were the best team in the league. You had the best record in the league. You ran your way
No,
all the way
Cavs had the
through and
best
won the
record, didn't
finals.
they?
So I think Thunder had a better record. I think Thunder was 64-18. I think this year. I think the Cavs had 62 wins.
Cavs had six. I mean, the Cavs had 64. You're right. The Cavs had 64. Were 64-18, and the Thunder were 68-14.
Oh, they're 68-14, even better. That's crazy. 68 wins in a
Almost
season.
70-win season.
They had a great year.
Yeah, they were.
They had a
They.
great
I
year.
mean,
Yeah,
just dominant front to back, really.
I mean, it's one of those weird ones too, because like you look at the numbers, like that team was dominant. Like every statistic that you look at, that team was like one of the best teams in the league all year. Then you look at the playoff run; it was like kind of a letdown almost.
Yeah.
Like I have a hard time putting them in those talks with the dominant and the best teams of all time, the most dominant title teams of all time. Because I mean, if you just look at the run, they went to Game 7 twice,
I know.
and like the Pacers were, Halliburton was hobbled with a calf strain for a couple of those games. Like the Pacers were a team of destiny; they were just a powerhouse of a team. But like the Nuggets, if Aaron Gordon doesn't get hurt, like are we sure they win that series? Like, but you know what? That's why I keep saying, like, you got to play to make the playoffs because shit like that happens. Like, a guy can roll an ankle and miss 2 games, and then the whole series can be different. So you just got to get to the dance and find out what happens.
Yeah.
That's why I'm always against like tanking. Like, unless you're gonna be, unless you know that you're going to be that bad no matter what, like, don't tank. You have to make it to the dance. Like, crazy shit can happen.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, that's why, and we'll talk about the Celtics. I'm happy they made this move. This isn't a win now move, but this is a maintain move. This isn't a like sell off everything. Talking about Jrue Holiday, sell everything for bits, and we'll just take the year off. No, we're gonna be like we're gonna try some shit out here to see where we could fit in the East. But that's for a later discussion. Um, a few things. Shai, talk about an all-time season, regular season MVP, Western Conference Finals MVP, and NBA Finals MVP. Um, just for all the shit he gets about unethical foul baiting, just a really dominant performance by a shooting guard, point guard that we've ever seen.
He figured out a lot of stuff too from game to game. Like Game 6, he had 8 turnovers and 2 assists, and Game 7, he had 12 assists, no turnovers. Like he clearly can adapt game to game.
Yeah,
which is a huge part of being that guy. And he's that. He really is that guy. He's the first player since Shaq in 2000, 2001 to win the scoring title and the title the same year.
mm,
Like most of the time, the guy that wins the scoring title is not on a good enough team
yeah,
to win the title.
that makes sense.
But for him to win the scoring title and be the engine for that team and that team still be that good is pretty impressive.
I was looking at it like advanced stats last night just because I was awake from the trade. I think Shai's season he had like an 8 PER. No, that can't be right. Like an 8 PER, like an incredibly high PER, 3 points higher than Tatum's highest year ever, which was 2 years ago. Um, it's just he dominated. He just had a great year, and he's probably going to do it again. I mean, barring hoping he stays healthy, he's probably going to re up next year, 2-time MVP. I could see it. Like, there's nothing about his game he can't replicate.
Yeah, I mean, he has a shot at back MVPs. We'll see how he comes off this long playoff run. See how let's see how his body holds up next year. Obviously, knock on wood, we don't want to see guys get hurt, but if you're not used to running this far into the playoffs, it's a long haul, and especially for a guy like him who all the weight of that team is on his shoulders basically every night, like to score and to do everything like that. So we'll see. Hopefully, he can stay healthy. I mean, like he's a special player, like he really is.
It wasn't PER. I got that mixed up. It was his VORP, value over replacement. Basically, like basketball's answer to WAR. He was a 8.9 VORP this year, coming off a 7.1 last year. So that means on average he wins you in 100 games 8 more games than the standard replacement player, or 9 games in this case.
That's pretty wild.
I want to see where that stacks up in its own time, but that'll be for my own nerdy pleasure. Anything else you want to take away from this NBA Finals, or the Thunder or the Pacers? Where do the Pacers go from here? Maybe.
I mean, Pacers, like there's really nothing that they're not gonna have any draft picks because you just made the finals. Your draft's not gonna be great this year. Halliburton's not gonna play at all next year. I mean, you figure
This late in the year,
best case scenario of the tournament, like best case scenario is 10 months, which puts you in April, the end of April. Like you're not gonna have your first game coming back in the playoffs. Like that's not gonna happen. So you're not gonna see him at all next year. So next year, I think it's going to be more of a not a rebuild or a reload, but hey, these are the guys we have. Let's give them bigger roles, and let's see how they progress. Let's see how much better they can get in bigger roles. And when Haliburton comes back, you can kind of ease him back in because these guys have more experience being that guy or playing a bigger role and take a little bit of pressure off his shoulders when he comes back, and your team might be a little bit better. Same thing I'm looking at with the Celtics with Jaylen Brown. Like the keys, you got the keys now. Like Tatum's out, you got the keys. So like, it's time to improve every game because you're going to get those reps now.
Yeah. I mean, there's not much of an answer as to what you do. You don't blow it up. You certainly don't blow it up. But it's exactly like you said. You just like run who you got out there. You got Jrue Walker. Oh, well, yeah. You're out on him. But
so far on him every fuck. If you watch the 12 assists, I watched all 12 assists from Shai's fucking game 7, and he was involved in 9 of those plays.
In just terms of like he's blown, blown coverage.
He either got switched on to Shai, got blown by. Shai drove on him, and he had his hands down. He got a pass thrown by his head. Like he left his man at the 3-point line to go double on a Shai turnaround jumper on a game where he's not shooting well. Like he shot 8 of 27 in game 7. Like you let him take that turnaround jumper that's contested over Nembhard, but he left his man to go double and gave up a 3 in the fourth quarter. Like it was brutal defensively. He didn't do anything offensively. I mean, freaking your best rebounder was Mathurin and Toppin. Like, those guys should be averaging more rebounds per game than your 7-footer. Like
Obi Toppin's just about 7 feet, though.
Yeah, but he plays like 20 minutes a game.
Yeah.
He's not your starting power forward. He's your bench power forward that sometimes doesn't even play.
Yeah, your point still stands. What are you drinking on there?
Pepsi Zero, baby.
Nice Pepsi. Yeah, I mean,
Pepsi.
Weird.
You can sponsor us. We'll take money.
No, yeah, big Pepsi. Bring it in. This is your not annual, your everyday episode of Miles Turner bashing from Steve. Yeah, I mean, it's just
about the playoffs.
Yeah, hit me.
I don't care that they officiate the playoffs differently than the regular season. Like it's going to be more physical. It's going to be what it is, but it just cannot be that much different than the regular season. Like this playoffs was so much more physical, and they let everything go compared to the regular season that it was such a shock to everybody to watch it. come out that way. Like I'm fine with them playing more physical, but like there has to be levels to it. Like it can't be the pendulum can't swing that far from the regular season to the playoffs. Like that was just I think that was too far.
Yeah, I don't think they can be refing every single game like that though, because we're already talking about the stress of 82 games on your body. Imagine 82 fucking rock fights.
Oh no, I
you
don't
know?
want them to I don't want them to officiate the regular season the way they officiate the playoffs. I'm fine with the playoffs being different. I'm fine with the playoffs being more physical, but it was just too far. Like they were letting like too much go almost. Which
Well,
I
I
like
think
physical basketball, but like some of it is just like it's not at that point it's just not basketball.
I think with the discourse about Shea being like a foul baiter, and then not only him, Jalen Brunson, I think with all this swirling discourse around their star players, I think the NBA is maybe trying to like shed that style. I don't know. Like I don't know. I don't have an explanation for why it's so night and day different. Other than maybe it shouldn't be called as tightly in the regular season. Like some of the plays that people get are just, I don't know, so chintzy, man. Like I don't even know. Like I just don't think. I think if you're gonna have it be physical in the playoffs, which it should be physical in the regular season. Maybe we go for less games, but with the refs having a standard fucking no ref personalities, no special commissioner instructions about calling games. Have them call it by the goddamn book, or the new redefined book with physicality in it. Like I don't know. I there's That's the big issue. Is I just don't think the refs have a standardized. Like it's so all over the map. Nobody knows
Yeah,
what the hell they're
different refs
doing
are going to call
anymore.
it different every night,
Yeah.
and that's tough. That's tough to try and figure out. Hey, how are they going to call it? You got to. That's how some teams, the more veteran teams, play so well in the playoffs because like in the first 5 minutes of the game, they figure out, hey, the refs are calling it this way. This is how we adapt to playing that way.
Hmm.
Where some of the younger teams only know how to play one way, and if the ref starts calling it a different way, then they kind of get a little bit more rattled. You saw that happen with the Celtics and early in their years when they all were get together. Like they would get rattled by the refs because they would start calling it one way and they weren't used to it.
Yeah. I mean, then you have like savvy veterans like Jimmy Butler take advantage of that chip.
Yeah,
Um, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. This might be a deeper fundamental issue with the league in the sense that it's probably just too many games
I think it's far too many games. I mean, you saw three different guys go down with Achilles tears
in their mid 20s too.
in the
Not
playoffs
like
this
old
year.
guys.
Well, two of them. I mean,
Oh yeah.
Dame's in his 30s, but Tyrese and and Tatum shouldn't be going down with that's a stress injury.
Yeah, it's a typical. It's like an old man injury.
Hmm. It's Kobe, it's Dame, it's Dominique Wilkins.
Yeah. Guys with tons of
It's old
mileage
man
on them by the
injuries.
time they had it. Yeah, it's awful. And we're a victim of that. But moving on, speaking of being victims, I guess the Celtics are the first victims of this major new CBA, second apron, hard cap, whatever you want to call it. And last night they shocked the world again by trading Jrue Holiday again to the Portland Trailblazers again.
That's
um,
Brad, doesn't he?
yeah, just a shocker. We were talking about getting Jrue out of here to maybe like Phoenix or somewhere, but Portland was a team, but I think we were talking about like Kristaps. I forget what we were talking about, but um,
Yeah,
I certainly,
a lot of the Phoenix shit I found out later on. I remember that Phoenix is a second apron team, so
mm,
money has to be exact for us to trade with Phoenix. So that kind of that whole bit that we had is kind of null and void unless we both get underneath the luxury tax, which the Celtics are trying to do. I don't know what the hell Phoenix is doing.
so I was like trying to, I messed around on the trade machine immediately after the thing. I was like, this trade doesn't work, but I'm set. I'm posting it anyways. Um, but yeah, I mean, Drew Holiday for Anthony Simons, um, and 2 second round picks. What do you got? Let's hear it.
I mean, this is like This is tough. I mean, this is the championship team's going to start getting broken up now. And like you're so used to these guys the last couple of years that this is gonna get it's gonna get messy and it's gonna be emotional trying to deal with some of these guys leaving. Like I'm sad that Jrue's gone. Like Jrue turned into one of my favorite players to watch. I mean, like defensively, he was so good. Like dude, every night he was so solid defensively, and then he would come out and give you a 26-point game in the finals where he just doesn't turn the ball over, get you a bunch of rebounds.
Keeps his
Selfless
head
player, like one of
calm.
the most selfless players I've ever seen.
He's like,
Like
you could tell he's like a
whatever,
leader on the court in crunch time.
yeah, whatever you needed him to do too. If you needed him to go guard centers, you go guard centers. You need him to go score, you go score. You need him to go stand in the corner and hit corner threes at 75% of the time. Like he was a knockdown 3-point shooter there too. So like emotionally it sucks, but like from a strategic standpoint, like this is a great move. Like I was listening to sports radio on the way home today just because I hate myself, and they were just being so obtuse about the trade. Oh, Anthony Simons is not as good as Jrue Holiday. It's like that wasn't the point of the trade. Like the trade was Jrue Holiday's 35. You owe him 30 million plus every year for the next 3 years, and he's probably on the decline. You're trying to shed salary here. You traded for a guy who's 26, makes like $8 million less. He's on an expiring contract. So you can run it out. If it doesn't work, you can just let him walk, and that's all money off your book. You're going to be under the luxury tax next year,
Yeah.
even if you didn't move Porzingis or anybody. If it does work out and he turns into being like that guy that you think he can be, you have bird rights. You can sign him. You can sign him and still go over the tax again. That's fine. If he plays good and you decide, hey, this team just how it's built is not how we want it to be, you trade him at the trade deadline and you get more assets for him. Like
Oh yeah.
the flexibility that this move gives you is tremendous. Like you have so many options going forward with this move. So to look at this trade as just a 1-for-1 player for player is just you're being obtuse. You're just not viewing what's really going on.
Yeah, you're missing the forest through the trees. I mean, I second
But
everything you said. I'm sorry, you cut out. Your internet's going in and out.
yeah, I mean my internet probably fucking blows. You're over here all fucking you're over here all fucking pixels for me. So is it me or is it you? Are you sure?
I don't think it's me. But I don't know. I'm not a tech. Hope this is all getting left in. By the way, I will second everything you said, Steve. If you can hear me out there, it the very least it offers flexibility to get you off that contract, which is going to be not nearly as valuable as it looks currently. Um, it allows you to get off them if you want at the deadline or at the end of the season. It allows you to re-sign a guy entering his prime, a point guard that is sneaky a position you need now. And it allows you to get off Pritchard's contract if you want. It allows you to get off Sam Hauser's contract if you want. It allows you a ton of flexibility in getting under that second apron. Um, I like the player, straight up. I'll say it. Like whenever I was like on League Pass late during the season and the Trailblazers were on the West Coast, he was in the I was the Blazers were playing whoever. He was always the guy I'd watch on the floor. One because he had the high usage rate, but also because he was just the best player on the team, in my opinion. Um, he's gonna change up the offensive strategy a lot. Um, he's gonna allow more ISO ball, more spot up threes. Like he's gonna shoot the ball a lot more. I think he's gonna thrive in Missoula's system, um, especially one that's now lacking a Jrue Holiday and a Jason Tatum. But I just like it for the flexibility's sake. At this, like those that Jrue Holiday was extension was going to be bad the minute we signed it. I knew it was bad the minute we signed it, just because it's never great to sign a long term deal for a player in his mid-30s. But I do
thought it was
hate
a
to see Jrue go.
deal for that extension, though. I
I'm
thought the
sorry, what?
extension was good because it turned into us being able to trade this. Like you had him, you had that money. That was like the money goes up for him, but so does the salary cap every year for the next, you know, however long the NBA is going on for, really. So like that money was always going to be tradable. You have a big chunk of money to trade, and before we traded, I think before we signed that, I think it was after we signed that deal for him. I think that was when the CBA came out, right?
I
So I
think
don't think
so.
that you knew. I don't think that you knew that the second apron was going to be coming
I don't know. I don't remember.
like that. So I don't know. It's I get the timelines get all fucked up in my head, but
Now, hit him as a player, Simons. One thing you're trading away is your defensive your identity basically. Um, and Jrue. You're gonna have to rely a lot on Derek White and Jaylen Brown as point of attack defenders. You're gonna have to cover up on his when he gets switched onto. Um, but you are getting a player who can average 20 points a game and shoot the ball, daylights out of the ball from wherever he wants it, which I do kind of like that flexibility on a non Tatum team. Um, you need a guy who can kind of handle his own load on offense without Tatum. When you have Tatum, you need more players that can fit into roles around him. So we'll see.
I think that even if you did bring Simons back next year, if he did work out this year and you re-sign him, I think he would fit in fine with Tatum. He shot 38% from three for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
So like I think that he fits fine in that system as a guy who can play off the ball, go get yours when it's time to go get yours. That's the thing that the defense is the one thing that worries me because that means that if you got a guy who's a point of attack defender like that who is not a good one, you need a rim protector,
Mm-hmm.
and that means that you need to rely on Porzingis to protect the rim, which is kind of tough because like you're also trying to move that money off the books, and Porzingis has not been a healthy player for us for the last couple of years.
For anybody, really. I don't think you have to just say us.
Yeah,
It's not an exclusive thing with him.
it's been tough.
Um, yeah, man. The defensive stuff. I did a little analysis in terms of like predictions. I'm looking at it. Hold on one second. I have it here. We're expected. We lost 2 games in terms of win projection expectancy over the next season, and that's without Tatum. So we're expected to go lose 2 games with this trade. Um, I don't know, man. I just think it's gonna be you can make up for it with 2 guys like on in terms of defense with guys like Jalen and D White, and who knows who we're gonna bring in at center now because from all reports we're gonna have a very busy offseason. We already have one, but we're not done dealing here. Somebody else is gonna go, and the number one candidate has to be KP, right? Like so,
Yeah,
I,
and
whoever you
also
bring in at center is
we
going to
don't
be
know if
important.
Simons is going to be here. We don't even know if Simons is going to be here to start the season either. Like this could have been a move before we make another move. Like we might trade him before the season even starts. So this all could be just moot point.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we'll see if there's more. If there's more things in the waiting in the balance like that, more dominoes to fall for this move, then this is all for naught. But I do like the move just outright um, in this non-Tatum season coming up. So the flexibility is huge. Just in the new CBA era, you have to ship off players that you thought were going to be around forever to basketball Siberia, aka Washington or Portland,
Or New Orleans.
or Utah, or New Orleans. Yeah, you have to start shipping players off to you know the shitters of the league. And Jrue Holiday was the first one.
Yeah, well, like, is Portland going to be another connecting flight for Jrue?
They
Like, are
said
they
they
just
want
going
to
to ship
build
him?
around him.
That's a fucking look. I love Jrue. Like he's a phenomenal person. He won the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar Award for his activism off of the court and what he did for the community. He
Oh yeah.
wins the sportsmanship award every year because he's such a great teammate and does all the little things that team needs him to do. But building around a 35-year-old Jrue Holiday does not seem like the best idea.
Well, I think they might want to bring him in and probably trade him off at the deadline, but bring him in, teach Scoot a few things.
It's like, hey, you can't pick a better vet than
No,
Jrue Holiday. Like
not
you really
really. Yeah,
can't.
yeah, exactly.
I don't think there's one better vet in the league to bring in to help out your team than Jrue Holiday.
No,
Just from a coach, just from a teaching and a sportsmanship and a professionalist
how to win.
view.
Just teach you how to
Like
win.
yeah, there's only 3 two-time champions in the league right now, so it's him,
Alex
it's
Caruso.
Caruso, and it's KCP.
Oh wow, one of these things is not like the other.
Yeah, these guys are going to the hall.
Yeah, man. I mean, anything else, Drew? I think we want to take a moment here and say thank you for being a great teammate. If you're listening to this, which we know you are, thank you for banner 18. You did your job to perfection, and we couldn't have gotten more out of you. And you never have to but worry about getting a dinner tab, buying a drink in Boston ever again, bud. So, we love you. We miss you.
Yeah,
But
shout out
it's
to
a new
Drew.
day.
I mean, thank you for everything you did for the community and everything you did for the city outside of the basketball. You know, just we love you in Boston. You're gonna be a Celtic legend forever. Like we're never gonna forget you
No, sir. No, sir.
for
Um,
life, baby. For life.
for life. Um, and less drastic news, a couple of players on the move here who won't be remembered by their respective cities. What's the trade here? We had a little news dump in the middle of the day. The Pelicans are trading C.J. McCollum, former Celtic Kelly Olynyk, and a future second-round pick to the Washington Wizards for Jordan Poole and Sadiq Bey, and the number 40 pick in this year's draft. What do you got?
Awesome.
For who?
Guys just moving around.
Just a couple dudes moving.
Guys moving, just doing stuff to do stuff. Really, like New Orleans is not going to make a splash in the West with Jordan Poole and Zion Williamson as your 2 best players. Like, and CJ McCollum is just going to go rot away in Washington because they just decided to build a room full of vets that don't really have it anymore. Like you got Chris Middleton at $33 million a year over there. You got CJ McCollum probably making almost $30 million.
Marcus
Smart's on last year of his deal. Like, sweet, you got a bunch of vets and like your
Washington's not
Alex
done.
Star.
Washington's not done making moves, so those vets won't be on the team. But that's the thing; they have a really young core. Outside of that, they have Sar, they have the other French guy there. Jesus, I can't remember his name. But they do it like they have like Bub Carrington. They have a ton of young guys over there that will need probably some veteran leadership going forward. But there's no way they're keeping this whole team together.
I mean, do you flip Simons for Smart? Just real quick.
No.
And then you could trade Porzingis for something, and because he's like the one that you out of Holiday and Porzingis, he's the one that was more detrimental to the team last year, to be honest.
I mean, why would you want Marcus Smart on the team other than vibes and the fact that we love him?
Any reason other than vibes.
Oh, well, didn't you just say you want to have a team that has like a chance to get to the dance?
Hey, you got to be in the dance. Look at the East this year.
Like, not with your primary ball handler.
Going to be out for most of the year next year, so the Bucks are not going to be that good.
Well, Giannis is going to be on the team. That's the number one reason there.
I mean, especially if Giannis goes and like the Bucks are out. You got the Pacers are not going to have Haliburton for the whole year.
Still be pretty good.
The Knicks don't know who their coach is, but they're still going to be a number 2 seed probably. The Cavs will be good again if they don't blow it up, which was like with the Halliburton injury really changed what the Cavs were going to do.
Because,
they were thinking about like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And then all of a sudden Halliburton and Tatum go down. It's like, all right, well, we're not going to do anything.
The East is ours again. Yeah.
Don't fucking choke in the playoffs. Like, like who are the three? Like, there's only who am I missing that's going to be better than the Celtics this year in the East?
Um,
The only two teams I can think of are the Cavs and the Knicks.
well, hold on. I don't want to jump off the Cavs. Yeah, they could choke in the playoffs again, but all their boogeymen are dead.
Yeah,
Like the Celtics are
the
dead.
only person you can choke to is the fucking Knicks now, basically.
Let me pull up the Eastern Conference here for a little. Who's gonna be good in the
Like,
East next year? The Bucks are gonna be bad. The Celtics will be
Kenny,
middling. Oh, the Pistons will be good.
is the Pistons going to be a top 4 seed next year?
Yeah, I mean they were 6th seed this year. Uh, Magic will be good, barring they can stay
Yeah,
healthy. Heat are gonna be, who knows, bad
not as
to
good as the
middle.
Celtics.
Hawks have a decent
Pick
chance
four
of being better
teams.
than the Celtics.
No, the Hawks won't be better than the Celtics this year.
Jalen Johnson's gonna
You
be
got
back for a full season.
yeah, no, he's going to be nice. I'm excited to see him play, but I just don't see it.
Sixers, you got to figure they got something to do this offseason. Who knows what it is?
Yeah. Look, I can see the Celtics being a 4 seed in the East. I really can.
I mean, the Celtics are predicted to win like 45 games next year, anywhere between like 44 and 46.
Sure,
So
give
you
us
tell me.
45 wins. I think that there's 3 teams that can get more than 45 wins next year that I'm 100% sure of, and that's
Go
the
ahead.
Magic.
Oh, okay,
The
wow.
It's the
Magic
Magic.
only won
It's the
41 last year.
they got Desmond. They had 141 and like how many games did their starters play together? Like
Yeah,
5.
yeah, they got destroyed by the injury bug.
And they got Desmond Bain now too, which is like the one thing that they had problems with was shooting, and now they're like, all right, well, we got a 40% 3-point shooter. So you got the Magic, you got the Cavs, and you got the Knicks. Those are the only 3 teams I can think of that are going to have more than 45 wins next year.
You don't think the Pacers could eke out more than 45 with Pascal?
No, we saw what the Raptors did with Pascal. Like, it's just not there.
Okay, what about the Pistons? A year advanced. Who knows what they do this offseason? But they got a decent core built with Cade and Jalen
I
Duren.
don't know if they can break. I don't know if they can break 45. They'll do 40 wins maybe for them. What's their line
They
at
won
for them next year?
44 last year. There's no way they're going to get worse.
That was a very healthy season for them last year, wasn't it? Or did Cade miss a bunch of time and I'm forgetting about that?
I think that it was a relatively healthy season for the team. But that's, what you going to expect a 24-year-old point guard to just all of a sudden get bit? I mean, maybe. Who knows? But I don't think bad health is the bet you want to make with that team for not being successful.
No, I'm not betting on anybody to have bad health.
Jaden Ivey got his leg broken in like the first 2 months of the season this year. So yeah, they got bit by the injury bug. They still eked out 44.
Then maybe we'll be a 5 seed then. I mean, like, still, like even if, like I said, even if you swap Simons for Smart, you swap Simons for Smart, you swap Porzingis for shit. Shoot him to the Bulls for Vucevic, like, and like
Kobe White.
so you could have fun with that team, and you would have elite defenders all the way across your perimeter, so you wouldn't have to worry too much about Vucevic on the backside. And I think that you could still make it to the dance and go have some fun.
Yeah, but I don't think you can. I think that's currently as it is with Simons on the team. I don't think if you add Marcus Smart there, you're winning 45 games.
Yeah, you win 45 games with Smart there.
Your offensive production is going to be so bad. What are you talking about?
Your defensive production is going to be so good, though.
It's already you got 2 of the better defenders on the team, or like still on the team. You got 2 guys who can guard anywhere from 1 to 4.
Also, just give the ball to Peyton Pritchard more. There's your offense. Come on.
I don't like it.
Is Hauser going to be a Celtic next year?
Probably not.
Where do you think that he's going to end up?
I mean, a 40% from 3-point shooter. He could have his pick of teams. I imagine. There's not a team out there that wouldn't like that. I think. Jesus. The Magic certainly could have used him. Maybe they still would try and get him on the squad.
I would love that for the Magic.
I just don't know about trading him in the conference. How that's gonna, especially with a team that is probably projected to be fighting with you in the playoff spots. Um,
Also, like you would have to wait to trade Hauser until after you got rid of Porzingis and got under the second apron, because you're gonna want to take back a guy that makes more than Hauser, because Hauser's only on like a $10 million contract, and there's nobody in the league that makes less than Hauser that I would be willing to trade him for, unless you're throwing in like 3 first-round picks or something like that, something stupid.
so do both teams have to be under the second apron for this to not be an even money trade?
No, no, no. If both teams are above the second apron and you want to make a trade, the money has to be exact, and you
Okay.
can't put players together to make the money exact. Neither team can do that. But we're a second apron team, so we can't trade for somebody that makes more than Hauser. You have to trade for somebody that makes less, which means that the teams that you're trading him to have to be under the second apron too, because they can't trade for somebody that makes more than Hauser, or
Hmm.
for trade for Hauser if he makes more. So you're looking for a guy that makes less than like 10 or 11 million a year. So like your pick of guys at that is not going to be a very productive player. So you'd have to throw in draft capital to do it. You're
I
looking at like rookies,
yeah.
veterans.
Really, I could see a lot of teams in the West looking for a guy like Hauser. Like I could see the Lakers trying to get him, the Nuggets,
Oh
the
yeah, no,
Warriors.
he's a perfect fit for today's NBA. He's a 40% 3 point shooter. He hasn't been less than 40% in his career since high school. He's been shooting more than 40% from three.
And he's not a zilch on defense either. He can defend. He can kind of hold his own on defense. That's probably his
Well
weakest
enough
suit.
that you don't have to worry about him.
Yeah.
Like in the playoffs, like maybe you're gonna send another guy there, but like it's January. I'm not worried about him getting ISO'd and us getting beat by 20. Like,
I think he'd be a great fit for the Grizzlies.
yeah,
A less
fit right
expensive
in. Just
Bane.
fill up that Bane spot.
Yeah.
What did they get for Bane? Did they get like
And
5 seconds or something like that?
KCP. Let me look it up. I already forget. But I know KCP was the player. Um. Oh, yeah, Cole Anthony too. I forgot about him. I actually like Cole Anthony.
Yeah,
And
so they didn't
four
really get any shooting.
unprotected first round picks. Is that right? That
Oh
can't
yeah,
be
that
right.
was what it was, because we were looking at that and then being like, oh, "What's Jalen's number then?" But it was
Four
also like,
unprotected?
well, the
They
thing
gave it
was
to him
that it was
raw.
like we need shooting that bad that we're gonna overpay like that, where other teams are gonna be like, "We're not giving you 4 unprotected for Desmond Bain. We'll give you one." But the Magic
Wow.
were like, "We are so desperate," and obviously that came after the Tatum injury.
Hmm.
So the Magic are looking at the East, going like, "All right, well, this could be ours." Like we gave the Celtics problems this year with no shooting,
Yeah.
so that was kind of just an overpay just because they needed it. But like I don't know, this is gonna be a crazy offseason just because of the CBA. We're all gonna have to be CBA experts. Like, thank God we got a lawyer on the pod to read through this motherfucker.
I know nothing about it. I know it's a bad deal. I know it shouldn't have happened. That's my official
It's
advice.
fucking raw. It's raw.
Um, yeah, I mean, I think he'd be a perfect fit for the Grizzlies, and like you're saying, when we have a bunch of these teams trying to maneuver under the second apron and doing all these cap shenanigans, I think Hauser becomes a primary trade target now for a decent amount of teams. Um, and if I'm the Celtics, do I? He's on a pretty good deal.
Yeah,
Uh,
great deal. An unbelievable deal. You get a 40% 3 point shooter for $10 million a year. Like, that's great.
you can always use more shooting, but I don't know. I think I'd probably trade in the chips high and try and rebuild midstream when Tatum comes back with whatever you get.
Reloading, rebuilding, really.
Yeah, reloading,
That
not rebuilding. That's
buzzword
not true.
on Celtics Twitter.
What, rebuild?
Reload.
Yeah,
It's a lot
reload.
more positive than rebuild.
Yeah,
Especially because, like, if for it to be a rebuild, you would have to get rid of Jalen. I think that would be the only way that you would consider this a rebuild, and that would just be dumb.
well, I was gonna say if we trade Anthony Simons for Marcus Smart, that's a rebuild.
That's reload, baby, because we still got our core. Our two best players are still there, so
That's not. Yeah, but then we're going to trade those guys away. There's no doubt about it. Marcus Smart's on an expiring deal at 33 years old. He hasn't been offensively relevant in 4 years. Like,
And once again, he's on an expiring deal, so let it expire, then sign him for cheaper next year.
just wait till next year. Bring him in when Tatum comes back.
That would be fun. Get Rob back. I wish we got Rob in that trade.
I was going to say, do you just still hit up Portland and be like, hey, KP for Robert Williams and Denny Avdia and like maybe 2 first-round picks? You just basically swap centers who don't play, and then you get Denny Avdia out of the deal, which is actually I like the player.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate it. I mean, all the trades I see, like, there's been rumors KP that the Spurs want him. And, like, all the trades are, like, Keldon Johnson and then somebody, or Harrison Barnes. And so, there's a second player, I can't remember his name, but he makes both of those work. But it's like, if I'm trading away my 7-footer and we don't have a center on the roster after that, we have Al, and Cornette's still not signed yet. Like, how, like, I would like to have a center. I mean, I know you got Kada in there. Like, I'd like to see him get some minutes, but I don't want to rely on him being a starter next year. Like, that's just
I'm all for starter Kada, baby.
I mean, look, if we start Kada, like, I know the vibes for the season. I don't have to worry about nothing. I'm just going to go enjoy the games. But, like, I'd like to have a starting center.
You don't need a center that can shoot as much with the Anthony Simons addition.
No, you don't need a shooter that can shoot. I mean, look, it's extremely helpful with Missoula's offense, but if you could shoot even just average from 3, like, great. But I would just like a 7-footer down there to protect the paint, especially if I have Simons on the team, because he's going to get blown by a lot.
Yeah,
and
you want
trading Harrison Barnes and a couple of picks and another guy, then, like, that doesn't help you out at all.
Right, I agree. You want an athletic big who can defend the paint and can rim run and run out of the pick and roll pretty well.
How about the guy from the Grizzlies that just got drafted, Zach Edey?
Well, we certainly know he likes to go fast.
He's just speed, 101 mile an hour speed.
What a goofy asshole! Imagine having to pull him out of his car. You're like, I'm gonna need 2 officers here.
So I don't have enough handcuffs to get your shit behind your back.
No, he just handcuff one hand to his ankle. It's just down there. His arms are that long.
Use fucking zip ties. The fucking handcuff will be big enough. The fucking guy, he got gorilla mids.
Yeah, I mean, I like Zach Edey. He had a good year for a 2nd-round pick, right?
First round pick.
Was he first round?
He was up for rookie of the year. He was like top 5 pick.
No, what?
Yeah, he was supposed to be one of the rookies of the year. That draft was stinky. You forget about that. That was like the Alex Sarr draft.
Grizzlies were not drafted in the top 5. Why are they doing that?
Maybe he wasn't top 5. He was a lottery pick, though.
Oh, wait. I think the Celtics are making trades. Jesus. Hold on. We might have breaking news here, ladies and gentlemen. He was 9th overall pick.
Oh, no.
Don't tell me. I need to read it.
Well, we got a text from Jose over there.
Yeah, what the hell what are we talking about here? KP might be on the move.
I got it right here. Boston, Atlanta, and Brooklyn. 3-team trade. Kristaps, Porzingis, and a 2nd-round pick to the Hawks. Terrence Mann in Atlanta's number 22 to the Nets. And Georges Niang in a 2nd-rounder to the Celtics.
I mean, I hate that. Out of all the players, Georges Niang?
And a 2nd-round pick. We just dumped a bunch of salary. That's all we did.
Yeah.
We didn't get Terrence Mann.
Who I would have liked.
First-round pick.
Wow. Breaking news here. Boston, Atlanta, and Brooklyn. 3-team trade.
That's tough. That's just a fucking salary dump if I've ever seen one.
Okay, so KP and the Hawks, you don't think that's beating you in the play?
Well, look, if KP plays more than fucking 10 games, then sure. But, like,
the Hawks are going to be better than you next year. It's just 100%. I'll bet you $100 that's the case.
All right, I'll bet you $100. and this is all obviously the same bet that we always make, where it's barring any major injuries. Like if Trae Young goes down for the year, I'm not gonna be like, hey, you watched, look, the Celtics were better than him, and if Jaylen Brown goes down for the year, you're not gonna be like, hey, look, the Hawks are better than them.
Fine, fine.
I'll even include Jalen Johnson in that for you because
Well, yeah,
I think
he
that
was the
gives you
reason why they sucked this. He went out this year.
he's special. Dyson Daniels too, the fucking one of the greatest nicknames of all
Well,
times.
now we're getting crazy. Like if fucking Nemi Skater blows out his ankle, I'm not letting you off the hook.
I didn't say anything about. I'm just saying that I like his nickname. I didn't say anything about.
Oh, okay. But yeah, if any
I
of the
think he's
major,
awesome.
if
He's so
maybe
much fun to watch.
if any of the one or two stars on each team go down, bets are off. But I bet you, Steve Crowley, that the Celtics will finish in a lesser place than the Atlanta Hawks in the East this year, upcoming year.
Allegedly.
Well, that's my prediction.
Yeah, so we're allegedly going to bet. This is going to be a gentleman's bet.
What betting's
And then I
legal in the
might
state
drop
of
$100 on the
Massachusetts?
floor. I thought you had
Okay.
to go through like the proper channels. I
What?
thought that was part of it. I thought you had to like. I thought you had to go like through the casinos to make it legal.
No, I don't. Maybe. I mean, that's some
You know more
fucking
about the law. You're
weird
the lawyer.
gambling law. I mean,
They're
wow.
all weird fucking gambling laws.
KP, thank you for being our 18, buddy. I mean, it wasn't an easy ride for you here, but you certainly made
I
the
gotta,
road to the title better.
gotta change my little thing down here now. And KP. Change my little name down here.
I see too fat for the Heat still.
Oh, well, maybe I didn't fucking. Do I have to click off it?
Yes.
What the fuck? I've had that up the whole fucking time and I just didn't do it.
You fucking goofball.
I fucking hate it.
You
Well, I
hate
think we're
what?
under the salary cap now.
Oh yeah. Now I mean, listen. Now we can do whatever we want. We got carte blanche, baby. This off. Let's pop open the free agency market. Let's see who's available.
I can't imagine fucking the fucking minivan over there makes more than KP does.
No, but I think he's on kind of a stupid deal. Like he kind of got paid a decent amount for being a tub of goo.
Hey, fucking Methuen's own coming back to fucking Boston. Hey, go apologize to Jaylen Brown, or else you're not touching the fucking ball because he already don't like you.
That's a guy. That's a guy who won't be on the team starting the year, right?
Yeah, I mean, like you're gonna have to move him with other things to make that. Now, hey, look, all that talk that we just had about Sam Hauser. If we're under the salary cap now you can get some shit for him. I mean,
What?
if like,
Are we trying to get into this
if you're
draft?
gonna
Like,
what are we trying to do? I mean, like, what can you trade to get into that draft? Hauser's the only thing they have left other than D. White and
Pritchard.
Jalen. No, he's our sixth man of the year. I'm not trading him sixth man of the year. He's too important to what he does to this team.
Okay, but now you have
And
a
also,
guy
like,
who can.
Trey Pritchard's not going to get you anything in this draft. Like, once again, like, if I want to trade a player to get into a draft, I need, like, a top 10 pick. And Pritchard's not getting you a top 10 pick. I'm not gambling that trading Pritchard for the number 20 pick, that guy's going to be better than Pritchard.
Call up the Sixers right now. Sam Hauser and PP.
Fucking idiots.
And PP for the top 5 pick in this year's draft. You're telling me they say no? That would crush. That would be a great deal for them. They're getting a sixth man of the year.
No, they would say no.
Why?
They have Tyrese Maxey. Why do they need?
Yeah, as your
Tyrese
starting
Maxey.
point
They don't
guard.
need- Yeah, they're trying to find a replacement for Paul George or Joel Embiid right now because they probably don't want to keep paying those guys because Joel Embiid doesn't play and
They're
Paul
going to pay
George is
Joel.
getting old.
Joel got paid. They're going to keep him. Paul George is the guy who's going. If anybody's going on the
They're
team,
trying to find the next guy. What I'm saying is they're trying to find the next guy for after those two. Because right now, like, you're relying on a guy who never plays more than 50 games and gets hurt every playoffs and then playoff B.
I mean, I don't think they're trying to rebuild around. I think they're trying to rebuild around Embiid. I don't think they're trying to get off him.
I'm not saying to get off him, but they're trying to find the next guy. Like you have the number 3 pick in the draft. You're not going to try and play around with this and use it to build around him. You're trying to find a guy so that you don't have to keep paying Embiid to not play.
Who's the guy? Who's the rookie they have? Who Jalen McCann, Jared McCann. He's really good too. He's coming back. Like
Yeah,
they're
he
gonna
got
be.
hurt early. He was going to be really good last year. He might have been rookie of the year last year, but he got hurt. So
Yeah, I think they're gonna try and flesh these things out. Or I think they're gonna try and go and keep this team together. Sans Paul George. I think if they can get off of him, they will. If yeah, so hold on. I'm trying to look at the fucking Niang's making 8.2 million a year, even next season.
oh boy, I think that just got us way underneath the salary cap.
No, I know, but it's just you're paying a
Um,
lot of money for a guy who's a fucking negative.
I don't think he's that much of a negative. I don't think he's like a positive. I think he's probably a net neutral. I think he has moments where it's like, "Hi, he's good." I
Against the
don't know what
Celtics,
he's
he's
going to
pretty
do on
good.
this team because he's a guy who needs to play off of other guys. So I don't know how well he's going to play on this team right now because you don't really. One of the flaws of the Celtics that we never really wanted to talk about was that Tatum was your only real creator on the team. Like
I'm sorry, I'm
outside of
looking at the
him,
stats. I don't mean to interrupt. He's averaging fucking 40. He's averaging like 42% from three on like 5.5 attempts a game last year.
yeah, he's plays great off of the play. Like I said, he's playing off of Garland and no, he wasn't playing off them because he got moved.
Yeah, no, he played
Where
off
the
of them
fuck
for
was he playing that he got
51
into this?
games. Atlanta. They traded him mid-year for DeAndre Hunter.
Oh, oh yeah, no, yeah, I remember. Yeah, yeah, he was playing off of Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell, so like he's getting good looks. And, like the flaw of the Celtics was that Tatum was your creator. He got guys looks. Brown's gonna have to learn that next year, and D White's gonna have to do it a little bit more. And you don't have Jrue anymore, so that's not another guy who was a crazy high basketball IQ who could get guys looks too. So, and you don't have a post mismatch anymore with KP to play out of. So I think that George Niang's numbers might not look so great next year.
I mean, we'll see. That shooting percentage
That's my
didn't go down no matter where he switched off to. If he went from Cleveland to Atlanta, his attempts went up when he went to Atlanta. So did his percentage. I mean, even for his career, he's shooting around 40. He's shooting 40% from three.
is he
So,
your Hauser replacement? Is that what we're trying to go with here?
I mean, is that what we're trying to do? We're trying to do like a fucking heliocentric, like Anthony Simons, Jalen Brown, ISO ball, crash the paint if they bring the double, kick out to one of the shooters. Like I don't listen. I don't hate that. That's how the Thunder just won the championship. Now they did have J Dub who can initiate
The
his own
Thunder won a
offense.
championship. With, they also won a championship with their defense too. Like that was what really won them that championship. When
For sure.
they won that game seven in the third quarter when they just started racking off steals and stops and turnovers, and that's how they won that game seven. So because Shea obviously had a shit shooting night, but
Well, you at the very least
this is
you
wild.
still have Jalen Brown and Derek White, who are two of the plus defenders in the league at their respective positions. Like you don't have nothing on defense. You do have two of the better defenders at their respective positions. So that's a decent base. Now you
Yeah,
did just trade your 7'4" shot blocker, and you don't have a center anymore.
he
Really.
was like he was top in like the league in all like the shot blocking categories too, and like rim protection.
Now you got to hope you can find kind of scrape together some defensive like role players. See if Matisse Thybulle's available, a wing defender.
He just signed a 11
He
million or 10
he just
million extension.
he accepted his option, his player
Yeah.
option at 11.
Did Al already sign for next year yet or no?
Let's look it up. Al
Because
Horford.
if he didn't sign yet, I don't know if he comes back.
You don't know if he comes back like willingly or what do you mean?
He might just retire. I mean, honestly, like if he looks like the way this team is right now, like you don't have a like Look, I always say you get to the dance and play, but like when you're Al's 38 years old, he's not trying to get to the dance and see what happens. He's trying to make sure that he's going to go home and get laid after the dance.
He doesn't have a contract for next season. All I
I
see is
think
that
he
he
might
made
just
$9.5
retire.
million this
Honestly,
year.
yeah,
Maybe.
he might retire
Damn, that would really be sad. That was such a
because like you're
short
not.
window.
He got his title though, which he deserved. I mean, he's got 2-time NCAA champion and a NBA Finals champion.
Yeah, he's gonna be 40 years old. Like
I mean, it
maybe it
would be
is.
sad to see him go like this. I would have liked to have given him his flowers like for last season. See him like, hey, let him go off. But I
I
mean,
mean,
this is all
we've
off of
seen
my
him go
dumbass saying
before.
that I don't think he's going to come back. He probably,
Who knows? I mean, if you bring him back, that's another defensive arch or arrow in your quiver. You
I
just can't do it
hate
on a
that.
night to night basis. What do you mean?
That's what I hate. Like I don't want to rely on him for 82 games to try and help anchor our defense. He's 39 years old next year. Like he shouldn't be the guy that you're helping anchor your defense. He's an undersized. He was always an undersized center, anyways.
Yeah,
Now he's an undersized center that's not athletic and is 39 years old.
I hear you. I hear you. Maybe he does retire. You hate to see him go, but
I don't want him to.
he's done about damn near everything in the league. So
Are you okay with bringing in Marcus Smart now?
not for Simons. I think you're just going to need off now. You're going to be like one of those teams where you're just chucking a million shots a night. You're not your ID is not defense anymore.
Jalen always said that he wants to play faster. So you're gonna have the ball in your hands, and we have a bunch of young guys that want to run. So
Be the Indiana Pacers. Just play defense by proxy. I mean, how good was their defense? Miles Turner. You just have Miles Turner, who's a fucking. You went on a 20-minute tirade about how bad he sucks.
uh, I might go back and watch all 7 finals games just to watch how fucking bad he is.
Well, didn't he? I think he balled out one of the games. Thinking like game 2 or maybe
He had
like
one game where he had 5 blocks, but he had 2 of them on Chet on one fucking play. That was game like 4 or 6.
hey, you take him any way you can get him.
He was 5 of like or 6 of like 30 from 3 for the series. So
Yeah, he shot like crap.
that's 20. That's 22 empty possessions where your center didn't get into the paint and just chucked a 3.
Hold on, I'm
He's
trying to
getting
pull
bodied
up.
by Isaiah Hardenstein. So
I'm trying to pull up centers. Wow,
that was
who's available for the 24-25 free agency? Steven Adams,
there's like
Santi
sure.
Aldama,
I love Steven Adams as a person.
Charles Bassey, Bismack Biombo, Bol,
Nice.
Tony Bradley, Thomas Bryant, Clint Capella. Actually, I would like to see Clint Capella.
I wouldn't mind Tony Bradley. See how well he played in the finals.
Ah, man.
Played better than Miles Turner. Maybe that's why I
Yeah.
thought that he was so good.
Yeah, I mean, he's averaging 4 points a game, 3 boards. I don't know how much better he is. Um,
I mean,
Clint Capella
Miles
averaging,
Turner averaged like 11 and
yeah,
4 boards. So
but that's not. I'm not. That's not a good
one of them
comparison.
started and played 30 something minutes a game, and the other one is a rookie.
No, he's not 25, 27.
Yeah, I think he's still a rookie though. I think he only came into the league like a year or 2 ago.
That right? Is that right?
He was signing
Steve?
10 days, and the injuries got him a fucking contract.
You're fake news. He's drafted in 2017, round 1.
Tony Bradley was really?
That's what NBA.com is telling me. Clint Capella, that's a guy I'd like to see. John Collins, I also wouldn't hate.
I like John
Andre
Collins a lot more than Clint Capella.
Andre Drummond. Why? Why do you like? Because he can shoot.
He shoots a little bit better. He's younger. He's more athletic. I think Clint Capella. I think that he's a point guard merchant. I don't think that he's.
He's
If
a
you
what
don't
now?
have an elite point guard to set him up, I don't think that he's. I think he's a point guard merchant. I don't think that if you don't have an elite setup guy, I don't think that he's going to be that good.
We're gonna have that.
Like look who he's played his career with.
The pick and roll efficiency is gonna be off the
True.
charts with Simons. That's like what he does.
He only averages three. He averages 3 assists a game.
Okay, he's scooping DeAndre Ayton.
I
The
mean,
pick the,
Jalen Brown averaged more assists per game. We don't talk about him like he's some kind of ball mover. Look at who Clint Capella's played his career with. He played with like James Harden, Trae Young. Like he thrives off of guys who set him up on lobs. Like
maybe that's what he can be
we're not
here.
gonna have that. I don't think we're gonna have that. And also, isn't he like 31 years old?
He is 31, but he's averaging
Like,
nine and 8 a game.
What's John Collins averaging?
He's averaging 20 points a game for Utah. But
yeah, so there we go. I like John Collins more than Clint Capella.
he's averaging 8 boards, which is pretty good. He's a little undersized though, man.
Well, look, if you're just gonna have like a run around defense, like we're gonna have, like, he's a good guy who can kind of switch out to the perimeter and kind of move.
Yeah.
If you have Capella, he's a drop big that can't cover outside, and I don't think he's that good of a rim protector either.
He used to be. But he's older now.
Used to be great. Like,
okay, Andre Drummond.
used to be a really good player.
He's averaging 7 and 8 a game. He's 31 years old. It's not a really good.
He's only 31.
Yeah, but he's been in the league 13 years.
Bro, I could have sworn Andre Drummond should have been like a slick 40. Like, I feel like I've been hearing his name since I was like 8 years old in the league.
Yeah, he's played 5 less years than Al Horford. Now Horford's 8 years older than him. How does that work? Al came in
college, or 2 years in college. No.
You got Jackson Hayes. Huh?
You say Jackson Hayes? No, I'm all set with that fucking shithead.
Kai Jones.
My only
DeAndre Jordan.
It's so funny. You see the Kai Jones highlights, and it's like, yeah, I can see why this guy thinks that he's like Jordan. You see some of the wild shit that he can do and how athletic he is. So yeah, no, I can see how that got fucked up in his head. Yeah.
Yeah, he's only 24 years old. Christian Coloco, Luke Cornett.
Why not Walker Kessler? Why not make another trade?
Brooke Lopez.
Listen,
I love Walker Kessler. I said it in our group chat. Walker Kessler is the guy I target this offseason. If KP was gone, and now he is.
What can you give up though? Like, we don't have any firsts really. We don't have any. Like, what are you going to do? Give up Derek White for Walker Kessler? Like,
no, that's crazy.
White, Jaylen Brown are untouchable, right? Those two are untouchable, right? White and Jaylen Brown.
I think so. Yeah, they're going to be prime pieces for when Tatum comes back.
So who's that leave you with that's valuable enough to trade for Walker Kessler? Because they're not just going to give him up.
You could do it with like Sam Hauser and somebody else, you know, and a couple of our second round picks. Like, you know, I don't think Ainge thinks Kessler is going to be the guy. And whenever you throw picks at Ainge, he's always like, sure, I'll do it.
Is Danny running it, or is his son running it now? Because his son's over there in Utah.
That's true. I forgot about that. Andy's saying he's not tanking, which who knows? Maybe he is on top. Maybe
so. Like, if you're going to trade Kessler, you traded Kessler. That sounds like tanking to me.
Anybody who's they have other guys. They have like Furphy. They have a bunch of other guys who they're drafted.
I am so out on Furphy. You have no idea.
Why?
Because his fucking name is stupid.
Here's another name for
Furphy.
You, Brooke Lopez. Yeah, actually, I don't hate it. He can defend the rim pretty well.
Another guy who's 35 years old, Brooke Lopez.
37. He's 13.
37?
He's 13, 5, and 2 a game.
Would you rather have Brooke Lopez or Miles Turner?
For this team?
For any team.
I mean, probably Brooke Lopez because his deal's probably just going to be so much cheaper.
That's pretty bad. Even deals aside, I would still rather have Brooke Lopez than Miles Turner.
Larry Nance Jr.?
Brooke Lopez is the all-time leading scorer for the Nets.
Still?
Yeah.
What's
The
his
Nets haven't had anybody good for that long. They
What's
got
his
KD and
name?
Kyrie and Harden for like 3 years.
What's his name there? Cam Jordan? No, the guy.
Cam Whitmore?
No,
No. No, I know
the
what you're
guy who's
talking
an
about.
absolute fire.
Cam
Cameron
Thomas.
Thomas. Yeah, he's an absolute fireball. He's gonna break that record in like 4 years. So
Yeah, if they keep playing the way they do, where it's just like, hey, we're just gonna suck, like take 20 shots a game, yeah, he's gonna break that.
yeah, they got Trey Mann, and like, what is that gonna do for you?
Nick
Um,
Claxton, how about that for
I would love Nick Claxton.
a
I
center?
dig him.
You could maybe pry him out of Brooklyn.
Hell yeah, let's do it up. Anybody but Derek White and JB and Simons.
Really, you're gonna put Simons on that list? He's even fucking suited up yet. I don't even know what number he's gonna play yet.
I mean,
He's already on the
unless you're willing to come back to me with an offensive option that's equivalent, yeah, I wouldn't. He's not tradable.
How about Simons and Hauser for Claxton and Cam Thomas?
Okay, yeah, I'll do it.
Do you think that the Nets would take that?
Simons and Hauser for Claxton.
I mean, look, you got
Maybe
an expiring contract.
maybe if you throw him a
And
pick or two.
yeah, you got an expiring contract in Simons, so that's going to be off your book. I mean, Brooklyn
Cla-
doesn't really need to have money off their book anyways, but
Claxton might
and
be
then you
coming
got
off his deal too.
and you got a cheap deal with Hauser, 40% 3-point shooter with Hauser. Maybe you tank next year, you get DeBanza, re-sign fucking Simons. You got DeBanza, Simons, Hauser spreading the floor, whatever other outside moves you want to make.
Oh, Miles Turner's a free agent this year. Bring him to Boston, baby.
I see Miles Turner in a fucking Celtics jersey. I'm gonna fucking have an aneurysm.
Nas Reed, what'd you do, Nas Reed?
What happened to Nas Reed this year? He had a really bad year.
Former six man. I mean, 14, 6, and 2 a night. 25. I don't hate it. Also, Julius
He's
Randle's
not
out
really a
hanging
rim
out there.
protector.
No, he's not.
That's the thing. We need a rim protector now. That's
Larry
why I
Nance.
want Claxton. Not really a rim protector. Kind of just a big body, just kind of hanging out around there and jumps.
So your options are like Brooke Lopez, Luke Cornett,
Well,
DeAndre
you could
Jordan.
trade. I'm not looking at free agency. Like the free agent class for this year, for as a whole, is not that great.
Well, then we're talking about what assets we're going to give up. Like, do you really want to get off of like Peyton Pritchard for like? Do you want to do that trade if you're like the Celtics for the Utah Jazz? Like, I'd rather have Pritchard on his deal for when Tatum comes back.
Yeah, no, I would like that too, but well, I don't know. Maybe we're looking at free agents next year then.
Who knows? Who knows? I mean,
or is Tatum going to come back and play fucking center? Because we know we can do it, but I would prefer the guy coming off an Achilles tear to not come back and have to bang with 7 foot, 280 pound behemoths all night.
I'm sure when he comes back, he'll still lead the team in rebounds.
Oh yeah, he's a freak like that.
Yeah, he's just that's just what he does. He fucking crushed it this year on the boards. And
I just don't want him like banging with centers on a torn Achilles.
No, I don't. I want him to play as gingerly as possible.
Go back to fucking year one Tatum, all finesse.
I mean, we'll see. I think the Celtics are probably not done here. I mean, in terms of making moves,
Double check before we fucking get off here that we are.
also, I mean that's also all the analysis you need about the CJ McCollum trade. we just immediately jumped off of that.
Yeah, no, I gotta tell you, like I said in the beginning, it does not matter what trade those two teams made with each other. Nothing would have changed. Like zero things would have changed.
Just the names on the jerseys. Yeah, man. Crazy 2 days for Boston Celtics fans. I mean, half your starting five is fucking not playing next year from the championship team. So
60% of your starting five.
yeah, sad to see him go, but that's just But that's what the NBA did and wanted when they signed that CBA. So
That's a fucking gut punch. That's tough.
I'll
That's really
forever be
tough.
grateful for those two guys. So
Yeah, I mean, look, those are Celtics legends for life. Like, I'm gonna go back and probably watch the game one highlights for Porzingis in the finals.
that's
I'm
like
gonna go
that
back,
will be his defining career moment.
which is sick. It
Yeah,
was so sick to watch him come out there. Like, like I mean, the guy's not healthy, fucking yada yada yada. But like to see a guy who is willing to come back and try, and still go out there and have that moment,
yeah,
regardless of injuries. Like it was great to see him because obviously these guys don't want to be injured.
fired
They
up
just want to
against
be
his
really
old team in
all
the
the fucking time.
finals. I mean,
Like it's brutal having to rehab all the time. So like for him to have that moment is great for him. I'm happy for him.
yeah, and he's
Have
still
fun in
going to
Atlanta.
compete. He's going to compete over there in Atlanta. Like for whatever you say about his health and all that, the Atlanta Hawks, they fully intend on being a legit contender or a top of the East contender at least next year.
Ooh, that's that's nasty work.
What?
We were talking about not trading guys inside a division, and we just traded Kristaps to an in division rival that you're betting me $100 is going to have a better record than us. So what does that say that the Celtics thought about Kristaps?
I mean, I think they know exactly what he is. Is like when he plays, he's changes your entire team dynamic. But you got to hope that you can get him for 50 plus games a year, and that's what I think the Hawks are
Shout
willing
out
to
to
take
Porzingis.
a risk on. He's not Clint Capella. He's a game changer center.
He certainly is not Clint Capella. He might be as far away from Clint Capella as you can be.
Maybe we'll see. Both are about the same age. What else you
What a
got?
gut punch. What a gut punch. Fucking all in one day. Jrue and KP on the same day.
Yeah, man. I mean, it was.
Didn't even get to fucking digest the Jrue. We were in the middle of digesting the Jrue trade and trying to figure out what they're going to do next, and now KP's gone too.
I'm glad we did it early though.
Jesus.
Now we have a whole off season to be like,
Yeah.
what are
I
we
mean,
gonna
look,
do?
I don't know. I think if you played him, you might have been able to get more for him, but to get under that second apron was clearly this ownership's goal, and now they've done it. So figure out what's
Congrats,
going on
ownership.
forward. Congrats to Billy Chisholm. Congrats to that fucking iron mill owner or whatever the fuck he was that bought $1 billion worth of the fucking Celtics that we talked about a couple episodes ago.
What do you think he has to do with all this?
I think he was in somebody's ear like, hey, I want to make some money on this. I don't want to be paying a luxury tax to not fucking win a title. Like I said in that fucking episode.
So you think this was a
Here we go.
calculated move? You think if that's the
Yeah,
case, why not go way under like Derek White, Peyton Pritchard? See you later. Can't trade JB.
brother,
That's like
don't put that in the air. Don't you put that bad juju in the air. They might hear you. Like they might do it.
listen. The dominoes are tumbling. It might be coming. Oh boy. Well,
Oh,
next year will be fun. Jaylen Brown, Anthony Simons, and Clint Capella pick and roll is going to feed families. So,
ugh, ugh,
or Miles Turner, welcome to the
too much.
Celtics, pal.
Oh my god. I will show
Honestly,
up
if
to
he
every
become
home game and boo him.
boo that guy in particular, the only Celtics fan standing up when he gets fouled. When he gets fouled, fuck you. Um, yeah, man, that's it. Not
I
much
thought
else
we
to
were going
talk
to have a
about.
nice little quick discourse about Jrue and how we miss him and how this was a great trade for the Celtics moving forward. And here we are, an hour and 20 minutes later, mourning the loss of KP as well for Methuen's own Georges Niang.
Welcome back, homecoming.
Welcome back home. You get to put on the home jersey if we don't fucking ship you out before then.
I mean, for his sake, I honestly hope so. He's not liked here.
No. But I
Definitely
mean, I
not with
think
his Cavalier
he
stuff.
might be one of those players where it's like you hate him until he's on your team.
That's true. That's true. For sure.
I'm
I
sure the Wizards probably fucking hated Marcus Smart and I don't think he's really had a chance to show himself to not be the guy that they hate. But
Yeah, the Wizards fans just hate. They should hate themselves for being Wizards fans. It's their own fault.
it's tough
Um,
watch.
at least we're not those guys. We got two guys who we're mourning them going to new teams because they just won us a championship. So there's levels to this shit. Congrats, KP. I'm moving out to another contender. And Jrue, good luck wherever you land, pal. And love you, miss you. JT, feel
Miss
better.
you guys.
Anthony
Love you,
Simons,
JT.
welcome.
Feel better, JB.
Everybody feel better. Everybody's rest up. Going to be a long season ahead. We'll be in touch. Bleed green.
Love you guys.
Okay, bye.
Bleed green.